So, folks, there is a guy named Mark Robinson, okay? Mark Robinson. And he is the lieutenant governor of North Carolina, and he's running to be the governor of North Carolina. He's a God-fearing Republican, and he wants you to know that some people just need killing. And he is looking at all of the trans and gay folk in the state, of course, for some of that at least. He's a real piece of work. He's talked about needing to kill degenerates, the need to, like, eradicate pornography. He's up front saying, like, all kinds of crazy stuff to clamp down on out of control, or rather even in control libidos. And he put out a mysterious video earlier today. Let's take a look.
Hey guys, Lieutenant Governor Robinson and your Republican nominee for governor as well, of course. Well, guys, the news media is at it again. My opponent is at it again. You all have seen the half-truths and outright lies of Josh Stein on these ads over and over again. And now a story leaked by him to CNN is appearing now. Let me reassure you, the things that you will see in that story, those are not the words of Mark Robinson. You know my words, you know my character, and you know that I have been completely transparent in this race and before. Folks, this race right now, our opponents are desperate to shift the focus here from the substantive issues and focus on what you are concerned with to salacious tabloid trash. We cannot allow that to happen. And folks, we've seen this type of stuff in the past as well. Clarence Thomas famously once said he was the victim of a high-tech lynching. Well, it looks like Mark Robinson is too, by a man who refuses to stand on stage at the
he's the target of a high-tech lynching.
Debate about the real issues that face you. Instead, they want to focus on salacious tabloid lies. We're not going to let them do that. We are staying in this race. We are in it to win it. And we know that with your help, we will. God bless you, and we will see you where? On the campaign trail.
Oh, well, I guess it's just a load of claptrap, a bunch of flim-flam, which... Something tells me there's more to the story. I don't think we should just leave it there. After all, it must be quite an attack, considering Robinson's considered Martin Luther King Jr. on steroids.
This is Martin Luther King on steroids. Okay, now I told that to Mark. I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King ×2. And he looked at me, and I wasn't sure, was he angry because that's a terrible thing to say, or was he complimented? I have never figured it out. What's this?
He's twice the man Martin Luther King Jr. was. These are some high expectations. It would be really weird if this guy got outed as some kind of pervert Nazi. That'd be really weird. I know we get so hyperbolic these days, and we just call every conservative these days a Nazi. But, like, come on, let's not be too hyperbolic about this one. Let's get our reporting straight from the source over on Fox News here. Okay, what's the truth, Fox News? We turn to the 5, the arbiters of truth.
And what's a really interesting state in there? North Carolina, which is a big target for the Democrats. And we just found out an hour ago that the lieutenant governor there, Mark Robinson, who's running for governor,
never heard of him,
who Donald Trump called Martin Luther King on steroids, posted on a porn forum called Nude Africa that he's a black Nazi, expressed support for reinstating slavery, and detailed his sexual arousal from memories of peeping on women in public gyms, and he still fantasizes about it. He also has an Ashley Madison account.
How dare you kink shame?
Sure.
That's a great reaction. So Josh Stein was likely to win that race anyway.
This lady does not get paid enough to deal with the other people on this show.
If they get Mark Robinson to drop out, his name is still on the ballot. But this makes North Carolina even more in play for Democrats. And this, again, is evidence of the type of candidates that Donald Trump thinks are good for the country. Martin Luther King on steroids, someone who says he's a black Nazi.
But he would obviously.
But what?
Let's take the obvious here.
Yeah.
Do you think Trump actually knew this guy was on porn sites?
My point is that Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's the main problem here. He was on porn websites, not identifying himself as a black Nazi.
Trump likes anyone who likes him, and he doesn't bother to
That's
do the
called
work.
being human.
No, it's not. A lot of people like me who I don't like in return.
Like who?
Like,
I don't
Tell
want
us
to
now.
name names.
Go ahead. Let's start with Fox and Friends.
Yeah. Or kill
All right,
me.
Jessica.
yeah.
Literally every crone at this table.
All right, Jeff.
I
that's
didn't
it.
interrupt. I just want to let
Because
that be known.
it was
Greg
so
interrupted
correct
on
you
my
couldn't
behalf.
take it. The king shaming was
Okay,
kind of
well,
funny. And
I
I'm
will be
not.
going to Nude
But-
Africa in the break to see if that's true.
Now, I just want to point out that in this,
posted on a porn forum called Nude Africa that he's a black Nazi, expressed support for reinstating slavery, and detailed his sexual arousal from memories of peeping on women in public gyms.
just to be clear here, he's calling for like the execution of like gay and trans people and calling like trans people demonic while he's like going around lurking near locker rooms and spying on women unconsensually. He wants to bring back slavery because he's a black Nazi. Like, it's literally just this interview, this legendary interview that CBS New York did a decade ago. But the guy who's giving the interview is a candidate for governor of a U.S. Incredible stuff. But this is what the dynamic playing out right now in North Carolina is like. And it's only going to get crazier. I do want you all to know, buckle in, folks, because the CNN expose on this is insane. I'm a black Nazi! North Carolina GOP nominee for governor made dozens of disturbing comments on porn forum. Mark Robinson, the controversial and socially conservative Republican nominee from North Carolina, made a series of inflammatory comments on a pornography website's message board more than a decade ago in which he referred to himself as a black Nazi and expressed support for reinstating slavery. Despite a recent history of anti-transgender rhetoric, Robinson said he enjoyed watching transgender pornography. A review of archived messages found in which he also referred to himself as a perv. The comments, which Robinson denies making, predate his entry into politics and current stint as North Carolina's lieutenant governor. They were made under a username that CNN was able to identify as Robinson by matching a litany of biographical details and a shared email address between the two. So, Republicans, you're not gonna beat the, oh, you're a transphobe, you clearly want to fuck trans people. You're not gonna beat it. You can't beat that narrative. It's set in stone. Every single one of you is out there and scrolling through your porn websites on your VPNs. You start jerking it and suddenly you realize you're watching a trans woman get dicked down and, well,
Whoopsie.
you keep going. And you figure out that you like it.
Whoopsie.
And then in order to compensate in front of all of your friends, you have to keep doubling down on how disgusting and degenerate trans people are, because deep down, you know how you felt when you watched them getting dicked down.
Whoopsie.
And that's a really big problem for you, because you don't want to be perceived as the kind of guy who just gets off on trans people. But unfortunately, you make your issue everyone else's problem.
Whoopsie.
So anyway, let's continue here. Screenshots show Robinson under mini soldier all over the internet. North Carolina Governor Mark Robinson, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, used the same alias and email he used on Nude Africa across several social media platforms, though many of these accounts haven't been active in years. As you can see, he tweeted under the name Mini Soldier. He kept using it on Twitter, on Pinterest, on Discus, on YouTube, and on Black Planet. Publicly, Robinson has fiercely argued that people should use bathrooms only that correspond to the gender they were assigned at birth. He also said transgender women should be arrested for using women's restrooms. If you're a man on Friday night and all of a sudden Saturday you feel like a woman and you want to go in the women's bathroom in the mall, you will be arrested or whatever we gotta do to you, Robinson said at a campaign rally in February of 2024. We're going to protect our women. He's threatening to kill us. It's pretty obvious. Yet privately, under the username Mini Soldier on Nude Africa, Robinson graphically described his own sexual arousal as an adult from the memory of secretly peeping on women in public gym showers as a 14-year-old. He recounted the story and said he still fantasized about it. I don't want to read this out loud. Yep. Anyway, to summarize, he peeped on women in the shower. In other comments made on Nude Africa, Robinson discussed his affinity for transgender pornography. I like watching on girl porn. That's fucking hot. It takes the man out while leaving the man in, Robinson wrote. And yeah, I'm a perv too. He's even gross about liking our bodies. It's like, come on. You can like the bodies of trans women and not be gross and weird about it, actually. So weird. This is not us. These are not our words. And this is not anything that is characteristic of me, Robinson said. Presented with the litany of evidence connecting him with the Mini Soldier username on Nude Africa, Robinson said, I'm not going to get into the minutia of how somebody manufactured these salacious tabloid lies. Time machines. Crazy stuff. It took his campaign 2 days to respond and issue a denial. That's how you know it's bad. Holy moly. Writing as Mini Soldier on Nude Africa in December of 2010, Robinson said he did not care about a celebrity having an abortion. I don't care, I just want to see the sex tape, Robinson wrote. Holy shit, dude. Oh, so he's hypocritical on like every aspect of this, like every single one. Oh my god. In another thread, commenters considered whether to believe the story of a woman who said she was raped by her taxi driver while intoxicated. In response, Robinson wrote, and the moral of this story, don't fuck a white bitch. What the fuck, dude? Robinson, who would become North Carolina's first black governor if elected, also repeatedly maligned civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., attacking him in such intense terms that a user accused him of being a white supremacist. Get that fucking commie bastard off the National Mall, Robinson wrote about the dedication of the memorial to Martin Luther King Jr. in Washington, D.C. by then-President Barack Obama. I'm not in the KKK. They don't let blacks join. If I was in the KKK, I would have called him... I can't say that. I actually can't say that. I can't repeat what he's calling Martin Luther King. Jesus. CNN's reporting on Robinson comments come a few weeks after the assembly. A North Carolina digital publication reported that Robinson frequented local video pornography shops in the 1990s and 2000s. Oh, God. In his profile, Mini Soldier listed his full name as Mark Robinson and disclosed a private email address Robinson used elsewhere online. In 2012, a user responded to a comment by calling Mini Soldier Mark. Now, guys... there's a lot going on here, right? This is a good article. I'm gonna link it in chat. I think you should all look at it, read about it in full. But guys, in the pornographic forums, Robinson revealed his unvarnished thoughts on issues such as race, gender, and abortion. Writing in a forum discussing black Republicans in October of 2010, Robinson stated, unprovoked, "I'm a black Nazi." Something you just say apropos of nothing. That same month, Robinson wrote in another post that he supported the return of slavery. Quote, slavery is not bad. Some people need to be slaves. I wish they would bring it, slavery, back. I would certainly buy a few. Holy shit. Dude, it's 2024 and he's talking about how he wants to buy slaves. Does he know he's black? This is next level insane. Quote, I'd take Hitler over any of the shit that's in Washington right now, he wrote in 2012. That's only 12 years ago, chat. That's not that long ago. Oh my god. In a series of 7 posts in October of 2011, Robinson disparaged Martin Luther King Jr. in such intense terms, calling him a commie bastard, worse than a maggot, a ho fucking phony, a huckster, and then a user accused him of being in the KKK. Okay, my god, this guy is so anti-Semitic, he used an anti-Semitic slur I've literally never seen before. I have never seen or heard this. Do you know how anti-Semitic you have to be? I've been on like 4chan and stuff. I've like stared into like the abyss. I've never seen that one. That's weird. Yeah, it used homophobic slurs, Islamophobic slurs, anti-Semitic slurs, wild stuff. Now, if you think that we're at the bottom of the barrel here, we're not, because people took the idea that Mini Soldier was Mark Robinson and expanded on it and wound up finding more. Just real quick, here's Mark Robinson preaching, because he is a pastor. If you forgot, he's a pastor. He teaches people about religious morality professionally. Here he is talking in 2022.
Age of information, we use a lot of that information. One of the things we love to tell our young men and women is, we want to empower you so that you can be strong in society. Particularly, we love to tell our young women that. We want to empower you. We want to help you to build up your mind so you can be empowered. Here's a novel idea. Why don't you use some of that building up of your mind and building up of empowerment to move down here to this region down here and get this under control? See, because this region right here, that's the only region on your body that can make life and take life. If there's anything we need to be telling our young people is they need to be responsible with their reproductive systems. That means you don't lay down and act like you're making a baby till you're ready to have a baby. All this giving out of birth control and advising people how to, well, you see, if you do it this way, you won't have a baby. If you do it that way, here's how you don't have a baby. You don't have what you do to make a baby till you're ready to have that baby. You be responsible with your body. That's a novel idea. Has not reached our school system, sadly.
Mark seems like maybe a bit of a hypocrite here. I can't imagine. But you know what, guys? I'm not gonna show this on screen, but there is an account called American Muckrakers that found a post from 2011 written by Mini Soldier on the website Nude Africa. And in it, it's titled Wife's Sister. And it describes very graphically a sexual encounter Mark Robinson had with his wife's sister. And you'll never guess how it goes. I'm going to lightly censor this as we read through the post. Well, I got my surprise from the wife's sister today. I met her at the HIE. She let me in the room. I took off my clothes and got on the bed. She got on the bed beside me and said, "Okay, come on." And then out of the bathroom walked a short-haired, round-bottomed hottie, buck naked and ready for a threesome. Her body was slamming, and her face was cute, and she was feeling me as much as I was her. Now, this guy's anti-gays, but he's pretty okay with lesbians, or with bisexual women, as long as it's for his gratification here. Yeah, he just told you all to control your nether region, while he's out there having an affair with his wife's sister. Now, I'm going to skip a lot of this. Also, just like, he uses the phrase pissy asshole in this, and gross. Weird. Anyway, we had so much fun. I can't wait to do it again. She has been fucking this chick since college. She lives out of town, but they hook up whenever she comes to town. What a great surprise. Sorry to disappoint y'all, folks. Who was hoping I would get raped or caught. All I got was some new ass. Can't wait till next week. This man's a pastor. This man is not just a pastor. He's someone who's threatening to murder trans people for using the wrong bathroom. He's someone who calls queer people demons. And just a few years ago, he was having threesomes with a bisexual couple. I've been telling you, anytime one of these loudmouth conservative religious types starts talking on and on and on about trans people, they just want to fuck us. What's Donald Trump up to? What's he up to? Oh, here's a very rarely seen clip.
Or sooner if possible.
That's right.
I just want to thank everybody, whatever you can do to help Mark and Yolanda win this election. You know, he's got a tough opponent, not a good opponent, but a tough opponent, a political person. And it's not going to be that easy. He's a star, but a lot of times people say, well, this is going to be easy for him, and then they forget to vote. They don't go out to vote. You got to get out and vote, but you got to help him financially because you're all people that have a lot of money. I know 20 of you, and you're rich as hell. So anything you are going to do, it quadruple it. It doesn't mean it's it's just, you know. But
let's go.
Somebody that we have to be very, very careful. We have to cherish. We have to cherish Mark. He's a star. You have to cherish him. Amen. It's like a fine wine because
you have to cherish him. He ages like a fine wine, everybody. This man is like a reverse Cassandra, just like telling us only lies. The opposite will come true, you see. It's incredible. It's like it's opposite day every day for him.
That's what you have. You have a fine wine. He's an outstanding person. I've gotten to know him so well and fairly quickly.
We've gotten along so well. He identifies as a black Nazi. I identify as a normal Nazi. We get along so well, us two. And, of course, yeah, he canceled some campaign events. They reached out for comment to Mark Robinson on Tuesday, and his campaign immediately cut events. They immediately were like, you're not going in front of a camera for like the next 2 weeks, buddy. Yeah, I mean, I bet the campaign managers are considering committing seppuku because, like, I don't know what you do when your candidate gets outed as a black fetishist Nazi. Like, what do you do? What do you do? And guys, just real quick, people did a bit of digging on Mark Robinson's username Mini Soldier. Now you might be thinking, why would he use the username Mini Soldier? Why? What is he just a fan of short kings? And in a way, yes, he is. But not in the way you might think. You see, he had an account on a website called theultimatesoldier.net. And well, he had an interest in action figures, we'll say, and photography. So he would do photo shoots for his Nazi dolls. He submitted these SS troop photos of his dolls posed artistically. He played with Nazi dolls and was so into it, he took pictures of them. Prior to all of this, okay, Mark Robinson was down in the polls in North Carolina. He was down by like 12 points. Dude is going to lose harder than any Republican in North Carolina's history. They're dead. They're done, dude. As a toy photographer, this hits close to home. I'm sorry, O.S. Crane. I have a massive amount of respect for people who take photography of their toys in fun and exciting poses and like form narratives and stuff. I think that's cool. I think it's like it reminds me of stop motion. I think that's neat. I have zero respect for someone who does it only with Nazi dolls, though. That's a line I draw for myself. Oh God. Here, just bit of data here, okay? Where polls showed Mark Robinson in North Carolina's governor race before Thursday's allegations. Here's a look at the current polling. Polls consistently show Stein leading Robinson, which is good. Last 2 weeks, polls have shown a clear lead for Stein. Poll from September 7th had Stein up by 14%. 2 polls released the next day by Quinnipiac and Morning Consult showing Stein up 12 and 13 points. Polls released on Wednesday showed a tighter race, with Victory Insights giving Stein a 5-point edge and Emerson College showing the Democrat had an 8-point lead. So again, overall, aggregated, the polling shows Stein has a pretty sizable lead. Even like a 5-point lead is pretty decent. But this is gonna crater his support. There's no way an info bomb like this doesn't severely depress conservative turnout. There's no way, dude. If it depresses conservative turnout, because when stuff like this happens, when like a controversy hits like this, most people won't change their vote from conservative to liberal. They won't do that. But what they will do instead is just stay home. And that's most people. Most people stay home. Far fewer people go to the polls and just leave like the governor spot blank and then vote down ballot from there. It is very uncommon for that to happen. So yeah, I think this is gonna help Kamala Harris quite a bit in North Carolina. And not only that, but well, this stink gets on Donald Trump too, which is pretty great.
Fruitable Deck is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.